Hey there, welcome to Recap. Get ready to dive into the world of the Thai comedy youth drama film, Ugly Duckling series, Don't. Buckle up and let's go. So, we meet Maewnam, this super shy and insecure teenage girl who walks around with a box on her head. Yup, you heard that right. She suffers from a weird condition where she hates her own face. She thinks she's the ugliest person on earth and needs to hide from people. She hasn't even peeked at herself in the mirror for over 3 years. Talk about a serious case of mirror phobia. Maewnam lives with her dad and her brother. One day, her brother comes home with a bruised elbow and admits to shoplifting. And then he decides to divert his dad's attention by calling his sister a total psycho because of her condition. What a good brother. Because of her brother's comment, Maewnam gets panic attacks and struggles to breathe when she's anxious. But her dad has become an expert in handling her mini meltdowns over the years. He's like her personal calm-down guru. And then, Maewnam starts narrating her life story on her blog. She spills all the tea on how she became the ultimate ugly duckling. Maewnam was living her life like any regular person for the first 13 years. Friends, social life, confidence, and all that jazz. But then, middle school happened. She fell head over heels for the most handsome boy in her class. We've all been there, right? Crushes can be tough. One day, in a burst of courage, she confessed her love in front of everyone. But guess what? The boy crushed her heart instead. He rejected her, threw her gift onto the ground and called her the ugliest girl ever. Ouch. He even suggested she wear a bag over her head. Seriously, who raised that boy? You know, kids can be so mean. That's like a rejection slap with extra salt in the wound. Of course, all the classmates followed the guy's lead and started calling her ugly. As you can imagine, poor Maewnam was traumatized by the whole incident. She shut herself off from the world, refusing to go to school. Her dad and the teacher tried their best to convince her, but his dad realized she's facing a real problem. So, he let her get homeschooled. Can't blame her for wanting to avoid those meanies. For a whole year, Maewnam couldn't even bear to look at herself in the mirror. And going outside? Forget about it. But fate had other plans. One day, she's outside trying to retrieve a stuck balloon, and a stranger came along offering help. In a panic, she immediately put a paper bag over her head, like a true disguised superhero. She realized that the bag gave her a newfound confidence. It's like she found her soulmate, but in bag form. Who knew a simple paper bag could have such powers? That bag felt like a match made in heaven. So from that day forward, she never showed her face to anyone. Eventually, the bag got upgraded to a box because, hey, it's sturdier. Her family catches a glimpse of her face every now and then. It's like they stumbled upon a rare unicorn sighting or a secret treasure map. Maewnam's face becomes a mystery, hidden away like a secret family recipe. She is avoiding mirrors and spending most of her time anonymously chatting with people on social media. It's like she's living in an invisible bubble. The next day, her dad goes to the doctor desperately seeking an instant cure for her sickness, but the doctor says Maewnam isn't sick. She's got a weird condition called hikikomori in Japan, isolating yourself from the world, refusing to communicate with anyone. It's like a self-imposed quarantine, but without the fancy masks and sanitizers. Forget FOMO, fear of missing out. You've got FOBO, fear of being outside. The doctor says that Maewnam's case is not as extreme because she still talks to her family. So, there's hope for her to socialize with other people. The doctor advises her dad to get her out of the house before she turns into a total hermit and cuts off her family too. At dinner, Maewnam eats with a straw, refusing to take off her box. Yep, she's eating with a box on her head. Her dad talks to her in his most serious voice. He says he wants Maewnam to go to school with her brothers. The siblings are shocked by their dad's persistence. Maewnam thinks it's a joke and rebels, but this time her dad doesn't give in. He's determined to get her out of that room. Maewnam declares that she hates her dad and storms off to her room. She cries, nervous about facing tomorrow. She thinks that everyone will bully her. Poor Maewnam. To cheer her up, her brother brings her a shiny new box and offers to help decorate it. Sibling love. Her brother assures her that he won't let anyone make fun of her. But even with the support, Maewnam still feels uneasy. So, the siblings team up and start decorating the new box for Maewnam. It's like a DIY project to make her feel confident and ready to face the world. The next morning, her dad drives his kids to school. Her brother gets out of the car and walks into the school like he owns the place. But Maewnam starts hyperventilating under her box, and her dad tries to calm her down with calming music to help Maewnam and gives her a pep talk. Then, Maewnam realizes she was mean to him last night and apologizes. Good job, Maewnam. As soon as Maewnam enters the school, everyone notices her big, bright box. It's like a magnet for attention. They start pointing and whispering, and that makes her panic even more. Their laughter brings back painful memories of her past humiliation. Maewnam starts feeling dizzy, like she's about to pass out, but thankfully, a guy named Minton comes to her rescue. He's also wearing a helmet, which is a relief for Maewnam. Minton introduces himself, but Maewnam gets all nervous and runs away. Classic meet-cute moment. But oops, Maewnam accidentally bumps into the popular guy, Zero. Talk about a meet-cute gone wrong. Zero and his friends are curious about her looks and try to take off her box forcefully. Not cool, Zero. Thankfully, Minton steps in, takes off his helmet, and reveals his face. Ooh, dramatic tension. Zero and Minton stare each other down like they're in some teen drama and decide to solve the conflict outside after school. Alright, next scene, Maewnam is nervously standing in front of the class. The teacher, being cool and understanding, tells everyone to respect her privacy. But you know, teenagers will be teenagers. They start bullying her, asking her to show her face. So annoying. Guess who's in the same class? Minton. What a coincidence. He's not happy with his classmates' behavior. Maewnam quietly takes the last seat, keeping her head down most of the time. During lunch break, she heads to the cafeteria in search of her brother. But no luck, he's nowhere to be found. She's minding her own business, but the students just can't stop staring and gossiping about her. But wait, it gets worse. A couple of guys see her eating with a box on her head and, instead of helping, they make her take it off. Can you believe that? Bullying is the most popular topic among students. The whole school sees this bullying, but instead of helping, they just laugh. People, poor girl can't finish her food and runs outside, crying her heart out. But wait, the knight in shining armor appears. Well, more like the knight in a helmet. Minton wearing a helmet that she thinks he is mocking her. But he clarifies that he just likes the way he looks with it. Then Minton shares his sandwich with Maewnam because he knows she couldn't eat earlier. Now that's a true friend right there. They start joking and laughing, and Maewnam feels comfortable around him. But Maewnam says she won't come to school the next day. Minton, being the loyal friend he is, says that he is her friend and urges her to come, even if it's just for him. Best friends always got your back. After school, Minton and the bully Zero meet as they promised. It's like a showdown between two opposing forces. They get into a heated argument, throwing shade at each other. Minton calls out Zero for always walking around with his minions. Things escalate, and they end up in a one-on-one fight. It's a battle of punches and power moves. Minton lands the first punch, but Zero fights back with equal force. And just when things get intense, but suddenly, the police show up. Party's over. Zero sees her on his way out and pulls her along with him after running off to a quiet area. And he finally forces the box off her head. And in that climactic moment, he lays eyes upon her face and is left speechless. Maewnam, on the other hand, thinks he's staring because she's ugly. Oh Maewnam, don't be so hard on yourself. We've all had those insecurities. The memories of her past trauma keep playing in her head, and she passes out. After passing out from the overwhelming emotions, Maewnam wakes up in the hospital. But wait, her box is gone. Panic mode activated. She's given a face mask to calm down. Her father feels guilty for forcing her to go to school, blaming himself for getting her hospitalized. So, he allows her to stay home as she wanted. But here's the twist again. Maewnam shocks everyone by declaring that she wants to go back to school. And why? Revenge, my friends. She wants to take revenge on Zero for forcing her to take off the box. So the next day, we got Zero all confused, thinking about Maewnam. He wonders why she covers her face when she's so beautiful. But guess what? Maewnam shows up and slaps him for his actions the day before. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Now Zero's minions try to get close to Maewnam, but he stops them. And what does Zero do again? He tries to take off her face mask, but Minton steps in to stop him. They end up in another fight because of her. Someone needs to give them a timeout. Word spreads around the school about these two handsome guys fighting over the boxhead girl. Maewnam yells at them for making her life even more difficult. Minton claims he only wanted to help her, and Zero, well, he laughs it off, calling Maewnam ugly. This comment triggers Maewnam's trauma, and she faints again. Minton comes to the rescue, while Zero is left behind, feeling jealous. The next day, Maewnam goes back into her insecure phase. She locks herself in her room, refusing to talk to anyone. Her dad and her brother discuss ways to help her. Zero comes to apologize, but her brother won't let him in, blaming him for Maewnam's downward spiral. But then Minton arrives the next morning to cheer her up. He keeps requesting to come inside her room, and after much persistence, she agrees. Surprise, he made her a duck box to cover her face. And guess what? He's wearing a duck helmet himself too. Quacktastic. They decide to start a band called Daft Punk. Just kidding, they actually just eat together. Minton promises to take care of her and convinces her to come back to school. What a supportive friend. When Maewnam is alone, Zero approaches her to apologize, but her brother interrupts and sends him away. Later, during class, a girl named Ozone asks Maewnam for a favor. Turns out, there's a rumor about Maewnam and Zero dating. Ozone wants Maewnam to stop him from bullying people. Maewnam denies having anything to do with Zero and storms away. Even during lunch break, people keep asking her for favors, but she turns them down. But then, she finds out that Zero is beating up her brother. Oh no, it's getting intense. Maewnam rushes to check on her brother, and Zero's friends are beating him to the ground. Zero makes them stop and claims that her brother started the fight. Maewnam calls him out for being a thief who bullies weaker students for money and homework. Zero can't believe it because he ordered his minions not to bully weaker people. Maewnam asks him to stop hurting others, and in return, he urges her to take her box off, and he will promise to never use violence for personal gain. With no other choice, Maewnam takes off her box and reveals her face to everyone. Shocked faces all around because she is so beautiful. Later, she hugs Minton, crying. It's the first time he's seen her face, but he focuses on comforting her. Aw, sweet moment. At home, her brother shows Maewnam all the comments under a picture posted online. They may be positive, but it still doesn't convince her that she's beautiful. But hold on, the window is open, and out of nowhere, Zero appears, creepy. Zero asks her to be quiet and apologizes for calling her ugly. He tells me to shush, rude much? But then, he pulls a complete 180 and apologizes for calling her ugly. Classic guy move, isn't it? But wait, there's more. Zero confesses that Maewnam is actually the most beautiful girl he's ever laid eyes on. Smooth recovery, Zero. Now those words are stuck in Maewnam's head, playing on repeat like a catchy song you can't get out of your mind. Feeling unsure, Maewnam turns to her internet friend for validation. She's like, hey, check out this pic of me on the school's page. And you know what? The friend goes all gushy and starts fawning over how cute Maewnam looks. So, this girl Maewnam finally realizes. Now, she pulls out a mirror after more than 3 years, and what does she see? She's actually beautiful. The next day, Maewnam struts into school without a care in the world. And guess what? All the students are staring at her and gossiping. But hold on, it's not the usual mean girl gossip. Oh no, they're admiring her beauty this time. That's a glow up for you, Maewnam. Even though she's nervous, Maewnam is ready to embrace her newfound confidence and start a new life. It's like she's hitting the reset button and upgrading her self-esteem. And hey, if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell too, and of course, leave a like to support the channel. Your love means a world to me. Thank you for tuning in and watching the video.